27 years old, already a three-time Formula One world champion, and driving machines worth more than most people will ever see in a lifetime today. We dive into the jaw-dropping garage of Max Verstappen. From multi-million-dollar hypercars to rare collectibles, buckle up, you won't believe number 7. Max Verstappen's story is nothing short of extraordinary. Born into racing royalty, he made headlines in 2016 when he became the youngest driver in Formula One history to win a Grand Prix just 18 years old at the time. Fast forward to today, and he's a three-time world champion, sitting among the greatest names in the sport. His achievements read like history in the making: the youngest ever to score points, the youngest to set a fastest lap, and the most race wins in a single season. Today, we're not just looking at his cars. We're diving into the lifestyle, the decisions, and the untold stories behind each ride. Every car has a memory attached, a reason it sits or once sat in his garage. And trust me, some of these stories will surprise you. The Ferrari Monza SP2. A shocking choice. It might sound almost unbelievable that Max Verstappen, Red Bull's golden driver, would own a Ferrari. After all, the rivalry between the two teams is legendary. But tucked away in his collection is the stunning 2019 Ferrari Monza SP2. This car isn't just rare, it's practically a piece of art. Ferrari only built for 199 of them, each priced at nearly $2 million. The Monza SP2 has no roof, no windscreen, just pure, unfiltered speed. Its 6.5-liter V12 roars with 809 horsepower, propelling it from 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds. Inspired by Ferrari's racing Barchettas of the 1950s, this machine is less about practicality and more about emotion. And in Monte Carlo, Max has been spotted cruising this beauty through the narrow streets. For a driver who spends his life at the edge of control, it's the closest thing to taking an F1 car for a Sunday drive. Aston Martin Valkyrie, the crown jewel of the Monza SP2, is shocking. Then the 2022 Aston Martin Valkyrie is the ultimate statement piece. This car is practically a Formula One car made street legal, designed by none other than Adrian Newey, the genius behind Verstappen's Red Bull dominance. Only 150 exist, and each costs around $3 million. Under its carbon fiber skin sits a 6.5-liter Cosworth V12 paired with hybrid technology, producing a staggering 1,160 horsepower. 0 to 60 comes in just 0.5 seconds, and it tops out at nearly 150 miles per hour. The downforce, over 1,000 pounds, pushing it onto the tarmac. When Max tested it at Silverstone, he summed it up perfectly: it's a Formula One car on the road. It's as close as you can get, for him. The Valkyrie isn't just another car, it's a personal connection to the world he dominates. Renault RS01, remembering the roots before the world titles and the private jets. There was a boy who just wanted to race. For Max, the 2014 Renault RS01 embodies that passion. Built for Renault's one-make trophy series, this beast is powered by a 3.8-liter twin-turbo V6 borrowed from the Nissan GT-R, tuned to deliver about 550 horsepower. Wrapped in a carbon fiber shell, it weighs only 145 kilograms, making it feel eerily close to a Formula car. Max once admitted that it reminded him of his earliest racing days. In fact, he famously scared his father, Jos Verstappen, by pushing it to the limit around Spa-Francorchamps. You can practically see the moment Jos realized his son wasn't just quick, he was destined for greatness. The humble Honda Civic Type R. Not every car in Max's collection costs millions. Back in 2018, when Red Bull partnered with Honda, the Japanese manufacturer gifted Max a Honda Civic Type R. Unlike many celebrity drivers who leave such gifts untouched, Max actually drove this one. He racked up over 36,000 miles before selling it in 2021 and donating the proceeds to charity. For all its modesty compared to Ferraris and Aston Martins, the Civic Type R proved that Max is, at heart, a car enthusiast who enjoys driving for the sake of it. And perhaps that's what makes him so relatable. Aston Martin DB11, the Bond connection in 2018. Max Verstappen's love affair with Aston Martin grew stronger with the stunning DB11 V12. This car wasn't just a grand tourer, it carried cinematic heritage. Inspired by the DB10 from the James Bond film Spectre, with a roaring 5.2-liter twin-turbo engine producing 528 horsepower, the DB11 could sprint to 187 miles per hour, effortlessly blending elegance with ferocity. What made this car special for Max wasn't just the numbers, it was the way it fit his lifestyle. He famously drove it to the French Grand Prix, turning heads long before he stepped into the paddock. The DB11 symbolized both luxury and a touch of Hollywood cool. Mercedes-AMG C63 S, an unexpected rival perhaps. The most ironic entry in his garage is the Mercedes-AMG C63 S Coupe Edition. 1. Purchased in 2017 for about £40,000. It was one of the cheapest cars Max ever owned. Yet, it packed a serious punch, a 4.0-liter V8 with 503 horsepower, sprinting to 60 miles per hour in just 4 seconds. For a Red Bull driver locked in a bitter rivalry with Mercedes, this was an eyebrow-raising choice. But maybe that's exactly why Max bought it, because when you love cars, brand rivalries mean nothing. He eventually sold it, but not before autographing the dashboard and engine cover, turning it into a collectible. Audi RS6 ABT Legacy Edition. The family ride among all the exotic machines in Max Verstappen's garage. The Audi RS6 ABT Legacy Edition feels different. On the surface, it's a family wagon, but looks can deceive. With ABT Sports Lines tuning, this RS6 has been transformed into a beast producing around 750 horsepower. Thanks to upgraded turbos, a reinforced intercooler, and a stainless steel exhaust, it delivers performance that rivals supercars. Yet it still offers the practicality of 4 seats and decent luggage space. Only 200 units of this Legacy Edition exist worldwide, making it not only powerful but also a rare collector's item. Max was spotted stepping out of this very car on his 27th birthday in Monaco, a moment that reflected his balance between family life and the high-octane world of Formula One. For someone as close to his family as Max, this choice makes sense. It's a car that can thrill on the road but also carry loved ones in comfort. So, what do you think? Would you pick the RS6 ABT Legacy as your everyday supercar? Or do you prefer the flashier hypercars in Max's collection? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Ferrari 488 Pista. The pure racer, the Ferrari 488 Pista is not just a car, it's a weapon. With 711 horsepower and a 0 to 60 time of just 0.85 seconds, it's one of the fiercest machines in Max Verstappen's garage. Built in 2018, the Pista was designed for ultimate track dominance, lapping Fiorano faster than the legendary Enzo. Max himself admired its razor-sharp handling, saying it felt even more precise than the 458 Speciale. And this isn't a car locked away in storage. He's been spotted cruising the winding streets of Monaco with his partner Kelly Piquet, proving that even during downtime, he can't resist living on the edge of speed. For Max, the 488 Pista is pure racing spirit in Ferrari red. Porsche 911 GT3 RS, the first big treat after making history in 2016. As the youngest F1 winner ever at just 18, Max Verstappen rewarded himself with his first true splurge, a Porsche 911 GT3 RS, priced around $400,000. This wasn't just a car, it was a milestone. Powered by a naturally aspirated 4.0-liter flat 6 producing 493 horsepower, the GT3 RS demands skill, precision, and bravery, exactly the kind of challenge Max thrives on. Clarkson once described the car's grip as astonishing, and Max would have agreed, using it to sharpen his road instincts after conquering the track. This wasn't about luxury or show, it was about connection, performance, and proving to himself that success had arrived. The GT3 RS remains his ultimate victory trophy, Aston Martin DBS Superleggera. Comfort meets power. Not all of Max Verstappen's cars are razor-edged weapons. The Aston Martin DBS Superleggera shows his appreciation for comfort and elegance. With a twin-turbo V12 delivering 715 horsepower, it hits 0 to 60 in just 3.4 seconds and blasts past 211 miles per hour. But unlike his more aggressive toys, Max has described the DBS as comfortable and F1 driver's version of calm. With Red Bull's partnership with Aston Martin at the time, it may even have been a sponsor perk. Either way, it revealed a side of Max that enjoys long European drive as much as track day thrills. It's luxury blended with power, proof that even the world's fastest driver sometimes prefers grand touring over pushing limits. Max Verstappen's garage isn't just a showroom of horsepower, it's a reflection of who he is as both a champion and a person. When you compare him with rivals, the contrast is fascinating. Lewis Hamilton, for example, famously owns the one-off Pagani Zonda 760 LH worth nearly $2 million. A car as loud and flamboyant as his fashion sense. Fernando Alonso has indulged in a LaFerrari, a limited edition marvel representing his deep ties to Italian motorsport history. Meanwhile, Max's garage feels more versatile, sometimes extravagant, sometimes modest, always personal. With an estimated net worth of over $100 million as of 2025, Max has the financial freedom to buy almost any hypercar he desires. His Formula One salary alone, estimated around $55 million annually, combined with sponsorships from brands like Red Bull, Aston Martin, and Jumbo, pushes his yearly income closer to $70 million. That means he could easily fill an aircraft hangar with Bugattis, Koenigseggs, or vintage classics if he wanted. But here's the thing, his collection isn't about showing off. It's a mix that tells his story. On one end, you'll find humble beginnings, a Honda Civic Type R, a car that symbolized his early passion for driving and was once even auctioned for charity. On the other end, there's the Aston Martin Valkyrie, worth over $3 million. A car often described as the closest thing to driving an actual Formula One machine on the road. Between those two extremes, Max's choices reveal two sides of the same man, the boy who grew up obsessed with cars, and the champion who now has access to the very best in the world. Interestingly, Max has been known to part ways with cars almost as quickly as he buys them. Some he keeps for only a few months before selling them, sometimes at a profit, other times for charitable causes. These sales often make headlines, not just because of the price tags, but because they show a unique side of Max. He isn't overly attached to material possessions, he enjoys them, but he isn't defined by them. For him, cars are experiences, not trophies gathering dust. His father, Jos Verstappen, continues to have an influence on his decisions. Despite Max's superstardom, Jos reminds him of his roots. Max has admitted in interviews that his father's approval still matters, especially when it comes to his lifestyle choices. This bond keeps him grounded even as he climbs to extraordinary heights of fame and wealth. And it isn't just about cars anymore. In 2025, Max elevated his lifestyle by acquiring a Dassault Falcon 8X private jet, valued at around $40 million. For a man who spends more days in airports than at home, the jet is not just a luxury, it's a tool of convenience, efficiency, and privacy. It allows him to move seamlessly between races, commitments, and family life, something money can't always buy. What makes Max's lifestyle so compelling is not just the cars he buys, but the balance he maintains between extravagance and humility, indulgence and purpose. He represents the modern athlete, one who lives large but doesn't forget where he came from. So, what do you think? Which of Max's incredible cars would you love to take for a spin? The humble Civic, the jaw-dropping Valkyrie, or maybe even his rare Ferraris? Drop your choice in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button. Share this video with fellow motorsport fans, and subscribe for more exclusive deep dives into the lives and garages of the world's fastest drivers. Because next up, we're exploring the stunning car collection of Lewis Hamilton, and trust me, you won't want to miss it. From the roofless Ferrari Monza SP2 to the spaceship-like Aston Martin Valkyrie, Max Verstappen's garage is not just a lineup of expensive toys, it's a mirror of his journey. Every car tells a story, every engine roar echoes with a moment of triumph, and every design detail whispers about his hunger for speed and perfection. This isn't just a garage. It's a living museum of passion, adrenaline, and success. Think about the contrast. The Ferrari Monza SP2, a roofless rocket worth nearly $2 million, embodies Max's daring side, the part of him that thrives on taking risks. On the other end, the Audi RS6 ABT, practical yet monstrous, shows that even a Formula One world champion values comfort and utility, but only if it comes with outrageous performance. Then, of course, the Aston Martin Valkyrie stands in a league of its own. It's as close to a Formula One car for the road as you can get. A machine so advanced it feels like science fiction brought to life. Owning one doesn't just speak to Max's wealth. It proves his insatiable desire to push the limits even off the track. Each of these machines is a checkpoint in Max's evolution. His first humble rides, like the Renault Clio, represent beginnings. The Porsche 911 GT3 RS marked that first taste of luxury after early victories. Then came the Aston Martin, symbols of his growing partnership with the brand, and his rise into the elite world of both Formula One and luxury culture. Finally, the hyper-exclusive collectibles, the Ferrari Monza, the Valkyrie, the RS01 are the spoils of someone who has reached the absolute peak of his sport. They aren't random purchases. They're trophies, each one tied to milestones in his career. But here's the bigger picture. Max's garage is also about choices. Unlike some drivers who flaunt endless rows of exotics, Verstappen seems to pick cars with personal meaning. It's less about showing off and more about surrounding himself with machines that fuel his drive. Remind him of battles won, or give him the thrill of experiencing speed in a different way. In many ways, his collection feels intimate, almost like a diary written in horsepower and carbon fiber. And yet, this is only Max. Formula One is full of drivers with equally jaw-dropping garages. Lewis Hamilton, with his mix of futuristic electric hypercars and classic muscle. Charles Leclerc, with his blend of Italian elegance and Monegasque flair. Fernando Alonso, with his eclectic mix of rare European beasts. Each garage tells its own story of victories, personalities, and passions. Max may be today's dominant force, but he's not the only one writing history on the road as well as the track. So now the big question, which of Verstappen's cars would you take for a spin? Would you go for the raw aggression of the Ferrari 488 Pista, the futuristic fantasy of the Valkyrie, or maybe the understated but brutal Audi RS6? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear your pick. And if you enjoyed this ride through Max's world, make sure to like this video, share it with your fellow F1 fans, and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you won't miss the deep dives coming next, because we're about to open the doors to Lewis Hamilton's garage, and trust me, you won't want to miss that.